what's up everybody? We're doing movie reviews now. Let's see what I can get my hands on for this week's movie review. Horrid Henry the movie. That's a great idea. Okay, so this is the movie that was based off the British TV show that was based off the books written by Francesca Simmons. And I'm sure this movie's got a bunch of good laughs and great ideas in it.
No!
And I wonder who made this movie. On June 23rd, 2010, Vertigo Films announced that a live-action 3D film of Horrid Henry would be in the works. The film was released on July 29, 2011 in the United Kingdom, and it came out for us on December 22, 2012 here in the United States. This was the first British children's show movie ever released in 3D, so that's something I guess. The film made actually only 10.1 million at the box office, which I found out by going by UK standards, that's almost enough to put it in the top 10, so it's not too bad. Not sure what to expect from this movie, so let's just go ahead and jump into this. This is the Horrid Henry movie review. The movie starts off with what it looks like you see Henry, who is being played by Theo Stevenson, trying to sneak up on the girls' clubhouse when attempt to steal some chocolates. Oh yeah, that's a great idea, Henry. You go get that chocolate.
Just do it!
At this moment is when we introduce to some more of the characters with names like Singing Sora, Sour Susan, and of course we got everybody's favorite Moody Margaret in this movie. Yeah, you'll notice that with these names, characters like this, they're like an anagram nickname. So if your name was Doug, your name would be like Dumbass Doug, or if it was Fred, it'd be Freaky Fred. Man, these names though, I'm telling you, some are decent, but some are like a slap in the face like Soggy said. And what is that supposed to mean? He likes soggy cereal? Well, he's a soggy bitch. He got soggy personality. You got Weeping William. Yeah, he's a crybaby, I guess. And Lazy Linda. Yeah, she lazy. Yeah, whatever. Guess I'm gonna need a name while reviewing this movie as well. I guess I'll be, I'll be Crazy Corey.
Do it!
As Henry escapes the girls' clubhouse, he runs away from them and hides behind a fence. He thought he got away, but his mom catches him and tells his ass to get inside and do his homework right now.
Homework now!
This is when we get the title screen for the movie to finally begin. And now we get to meet his family. Like, we got Dad, who starts off by threatening Henry and telling him, "You bitch, you better go do your homework or you ain't gonna have no more TV," or telly as they call it in the United Kingdom, for a whole year. Man, what a hard ass. We meet his brother known as Perfect Peter, which, Henry can't stand for him being so perfect and annoying. His mom, which seems like she's way older than his dad, but I'm not here to discriminate or hate. I'm just telling it like it is.
Homework now!
But Henry don't need to do no dang homework. And why is that, you might ask? Because he's going to be a rock star and become famous.
I don't want to do my homework. I'm way too busy. I'm rocking out. Someday I'm going to be a rock star.
After we get this rock star rapping music video out of the way that goes on for a good 1 minute.
With worms, that's what I decree. I'm the king around here. Your time majesty.
The next day, Henry's lazy ass don't want to get up to go to school, but not before he can fart in Peter's face in the morning.
Henry? Go away, worm!
That's a good way to start your morning. That's a good way to get ready for school. He spills milk all over his homework, his mom kicks it, she then picks it up, and the cat jumps on it, throws it on the couch, his dad sits on it, and the homework gets buried and ruined in the sofa. That's a lot of sequence of events to ruin some homework, but if you're going to go out with a bang. Someone's probably not going to have their homework for school the next day. And the next day, as Henry is walking to school, he tells us all about his school and what makes it great and how much Peter and his friends love school and how he despises school.
They love school, and I really, really hate school. Anyway.
But things aren't all bad because he got good friends like this joker, Rude Ralph.
That's Ralph. Better known as Rude Ralph.
Because, yeah, Rotten Ralph was already taken by another company. But yeah, he's a pretty alright character. We also got friends like Roby Kyle, even though I checked the wiki and I couldn't find anything about Roby Kyle. I guess it's supposed to be aerobic Al. Also, we have Brandy Bryan and Beefy Burt, who was mainly just there to say, "I don't know," after everybody asked a question or said something. But as long as he's got friends like this, it's cool, pretty cool.
friends like these, school's not all bad.
And together they make up the Purple Hand Gang, the most badass gang in Ashton Primary. At school, they are late for class, so they each gotta try to sneak in with the teacher, Mrs. Battleaxe, not noticing and avoid from them all getting into trouble.
You serious?
Back to the movie though, it turns out that Henry doesn't have his homework, but this is all gonna be fine, because Henry has a note from his mom that tells him why he don't have it. But since he was so terrible and Miss Battleaxe sees through this shenanigan bullcrap, she gives him a challenge. He must spell the word homework.
H-O-M-E.
In which he miserably fails.
How do you spell work?
And yeah, he ends up getting detention and must
W?
spend the entire recess period inside. That's when everybody else and the rest of us get to listen to this damn 1-minute collage of a Vince scrapbook music video being played using the cartoon TV show's original music in the background. We then find Mrs. Oddbod. Her name is Mrs. Oddbod. I'm not even joking. That's her real name. These names. Man, who comes up with this? This might be important later on in the movie as we see her hiding the key in a fishbowl. The janitor then informs her that 2 guys from another school, Brick House, are there to see her and talk about something very crucial to the school's presence and well-being.
The school inspectors are here to see you, Miss Oddbod.
Thank you, Sidmouth.
Meanwhile, we then find out that Henry and his friends are planning on entering in the big talent show competition with their band Zero Zombies. So what better place to practice than in an empty classroom while jamming out for a good 2 minutes? That's when Mrs. Oddbod is giving a walkthrough of the school to the 2 other school attendants, but she overhears this as she's walking down the hallway and catches his ass in midair and he freezes. That's pretty impressive though. You can just freeze in midair. Dude, you should just do that for the talent show. I think you have a real shot at it. Not many people can do that. But next, later that afternoon, while walking home and thinking about how much of a chance his band actually really has in the talent show, Moody Margaret tries to sneak up on him and blast his ass with a water balloon. But it ain't working on Henry, cause he defies the law of gravity again and pulls off this impossible maneuver of water balloon physics.
Check this out, but I have a plan. It's called Flick the Bogey. Carefully worked out with military precision and resulting in a devastating airburst attack.
After Henry screws gravity once again, we get another great song by this movie of Henry being king. I don't even think Burger King wouldn't even put this as their background music.
When I'm king, yeah, when I'm king, the sun will come out and the birds will sing.
Man, what the fuck? He is then called out by Peter for not doing his homework, and he gets really mad at him. That's when we get to see this big ass CGI dinosaur. The CGI in this is pretty terrifying because of how bad it is, but hey, I got a good laugh out of it. What the hell? Just look at it. The next day, while Margaret is trying to pull a prank on Henry, she fails and Mrs. Battleaxe is then drenched by a bunch of purple gook. This is probably what the Grimace's shit would look like. Big purple glocks of slime. So due to the school inspectors forcing someone to be made an example out of, Mrs. Oddbod has to fire Mrs. Battleaxe. She then has to go tell everybody they can all go home early today cause she don't have a job anymore.
You can all go home early.
Without knowing what has happened to Mrs. Battleaxe, the next morning before Henry heading out to go to school, he sees that on the TV that she has been fired. And
School's longest serving teacher, Miss Battleaxe, has been sacked.
Miss Battleaxe has been sacked.
sacked, as they call it in the United Kingdom.
You horrid boy.
Hey, Ralph, wait up!
Very exclusive and very expensive school, commented saying it's a sad and sorry state of affairs when a...
That is when we finally get to meet, you know, the main villain of this movie. You know he was coming? Mr. Asshole McGee, also known as Vic Van Winkle, who plans on getting Ashton Primary closed down, so that all the parents will have to pay him lots and lots of money.
Looks like my little plan is working. It won't be long before the parents of all those children will be paying me lots of money for them to come here to Brick House School. Because...
That's gotta be a meme though in the future.
Brick House School!
So they will all be forced to go to his expensive ass school, Brick House. Yeah, well, what a jerk.
Shall we?
I understand you have an opening for a very fine teacher.
We then get an attempt by Mrs. Battleaxe as disguising herself in order to try to get a new job. But that plan kind of fails cause this ends up happening.
Oh, please, Miss Oddbud!
Due to not having a class anymore due to Mrs. Battleaxe getting sacked, Henry's class is then forced to combine with Peter's class. This is when hilarity and the shenanigans assume.
Nice pickers!
And Henry and Margaret get in a fight over a book sack.
That's it! You asked for it!
That book sack sends a can of orange goo flying, and it hits Mrs. Lovely right in the face. But I'm pretty sure that's not how physics work, and the goo shouldn't be coming out of the jar like that, and that's just some bad CGI. But even though it's bad CGI, I'm gonna let it fly. The headmistress that finds out about this travesty of bad CGI being used, and then decides to, walk really seriously up to make a point. I mean, who's walking like that? That's somebody come walking up to me mad like that. I'm just gonna bust out laughing. I ain't got time for that. Never mind that. She then bans Henry and his friends off from the talent show. Man, we ain't gonna get to see no Zero Zombies. Back at the house, Henry is visited by Rich Aunt Ruby, Prissy Polly, and everyone's favorite stuck-up bitch, Stuck-Up Steve.
Said please at least 52 million times and he still won't budge. Won't budge.
After watching scenes of Henry flick boogers everywhere, we get to see him watching his favorite TV show, Too Cool for School. A show I would definitely not recommend.
Too cool for school!
After his dad munches down on a sandwich that a baby just threw up on, he receives a phone call from Henry's great aunt Greta.
How lovely to hear from you, great aunt Greta.
Great Aunt Greta. She thinks I'm a girl.
Yes. Henrietta is fine.
Who still thinks Henry is a girl.
See?
Well, yes, it does.
Like, really, woman? It's been 12 freaking years. You ain't figured it out yet, so whatever. She has paid money for Peter to go to Brick House, but she has something else planned for Henry.
What about Henry?
Well, it seems that great aunt Greta has something else in mind for Henry to try out.
Henry is now going to be attending Our Lady Gideoness School for Girls. That's pretty hilarious, actually. When he gets there, of course, no girls want to touch him because, yeah, he might have the cooties.
Oh, it's a boy.
Or whatever 12-year-old girls think boys have these days. But he's not alone, because guess who else is going to be going there with him? That's right, our good old friend Moody Margaret. Once inside, they realize they are not welcome there, and a chase happens. This is where they must work together to escape the school and make it out alive. They end up barely escaping, and once again, at the end, Henry freezes midair. I'm telling you, that's a really good talent. Back at Captain Asshole's lair at Brick House, we see that Peter has arrived.
Welcome all.
And he sees Miss Lovely is going to be going there as well. And yeah, he starts to float from all his happiness. So I guess the floating thing is genetic. I guess the whole family can probably do it. Peter must then prove his worth and talent to the school in order for him to be accepted and to get in. So what does he do? He sings a song.
Why don't you show us what you can do?
But after all that's over, it finally works and he does get accepted. Henry then holds an urgent important meeting back at the Purple Hand Gang clubhouse. How are you supposed to say that with a straight face? And how does everybody know that they were supposed to meet at the clubhouse? I haven't even seen them use any sort of phones or any other kind of communication. I guess they just send like smoke signals or something. They all come up with a conclusion that they can get into the talent show if they sneak in. They could win it and become famous, and that could keep the school from being closed down because they'll be so rich and famous.
Eureka! That's it! That's what, Henry? That's it! Talent contest! You know what? Here's what we're gonna do. We get back into the talent contest, we win the talent contest, and then we'll be famous! No one has to go to that brick house!
All they gotta do now is come up with a way to sneak in. In an effort to avoid being caught by Soggy Sid, Margaret comes prepared with an idea to dress the band in women's clothing so they can sneak in undercover, and that way they won't be noticed while they're sneaking into the talent show. But of course, Beefy Burt gotta fuck all this up by saying,
"Oh, I don't know,"
while attempting to sneak in, and Sid catches on to their little scheme. After chasing them inside, Sid almost catches them until he is distracted by the Green Day Willy Wonka man himself, Noel Felding, the lead singer of Killer Boy Rats, being played by Ed Banger, which does a pretty good job in this movie, even though he only gets about a minute or two for screen time. But Henry and his gang get into the talent show, and finally, they get their moment of fame, and they are ready to jam out. Soggy Sid attempts to put a stop to this, but it would seem that plan really bit him in the ass, as he gets chased around the stage by a vicious Vicky and literally bit in the ass. Alright, the band ends up winning, and Henry goes to see the headmaster, Mrs. Oddbod, about the good news and his plans on saving the school. But this wasn't good enough, as it would seem that Ashton Primary is still going to be closed down regardless by the evil Van Winkle guy himself. Later that night at the Purple Hand Gang clubhouse, Henry figures out the reason why the school is getting closed down. Due to the gold book that Mrs. Lovely gave Peter before her ass got dragged off by the evil bitch villain Van Winkle, they have found out that Brick House has been an evil school and controlled by Van Winkle in order to get all the kids to go there. That is the reason he is trying to get Ashton Primary closed down. And the gold book explains his plans and everything that they need to do in order to stop him. So, Margaret comes up with a plan that Henry is going to have to enter into the Too Cool for School game show and attempt to win the big prize money, while Peter and his friends all attempt to go to Brick House and save Mrs. Lovely. The game show, though, guys, oh my god, really, this is what game show nightmares are made of. With the most bogus challenges and wackadoodle game show host I've ever seen, being played by Dick and Dom, which in this horrible movie so far, I can honestly say they are probably my least favorite part in the movie. Man, that's really saying something. Henry ends up BSing his way all through the challenges and obstacles, and ends up getting all the way to the final round. There was a challenge where he had to find his homework in a couch. There was a challenge where he had to eat a big bowl of nasty ass soup. There was a challenge where he had to walk a plank and avoid falling into some slime pit by taking his yo-yo and grabbing a lever and pulling down the door and escaping, barely. Yeah, that's what we find in game shows these days. Meanwhile, back at Brick House, we find out that Peter and all his friends have been captured by Van Winkle. And he plans on, what he plans on doing with them. I hope he doesn't do anything illegal. Then you know what not to do, man. Just don't do it. While him being a complete and total dumbass, Mrs. Lovely asks him to go over his evil plans once again.
That even as we speak, Miss Oddbod is signing the papers that will close Ashton Primary down forever.
Mr. Vic, would you mind running through your fiendishly clever plan for us one more time?
With pleasure. It's all about greed at the end of the day. The school inspectors are greedy, but I, Vic Van Winkle, am even more greedy. And of course it was my brilliant idea to...
While Peter is right under his freaking feet, She dials Mrs. Oddbod's number, and she overhears the whole thing. And the school attendants are literally right in front of her, but they don't do anything to stop her. Man, why would they catch on? She ends up calling the police on his ass. Meanwhile, Henry finds out that the final boss of the game show is the teacher he ended up getting fired in the first place, Mrs. Battleaxe. And he turns in his homework. And all he has to do now to win the whole game show and the prize money, he must spell the word homework.
Homework?
Yes. How do you spell the homework, Henry?
And a whole minute of suspense passes as he must spell the word homework. Will he get it right? Will he get it wrong? The fate is all up to this one movie. Everything is riding on him spelling the word homework. And yeah, he gets it wrong and loses the whole game show.
Failure.
No, I'm just kidding. He gets it right. He got lucky. Van Winkle, after watching the game show, disgusted with Henry's success, he ends up trying to escape, but ends up being captured by the cops and going to jail because he trips falling out the window because he didn't realize that Peter tied his shoes together. Like, really, man? You can't tell that your shoes got tied together? Are you that stupid? Come on, man. You deserve to go to jail.
You're a dumbass.
And the day is saved, and Ashton Primary School is not going to get closed down. Henry ends up using the prize money to throw the biggest and greatest party ever.
We, my beetle brain friend, are going to have the party of a lifetime. Sounds cool. Deal.
I love you, yes I do, 'cause I know that you love me too.
Man, what the hell is up with this music? Seriously, this is the best party you can come up with, man? Bro, this party looks like something for a 5-year-old. Probably which is the age for most of the viewers of this movie. And why did you watch this movie? I don't know. Yeah, it was alright. This movie ends up with everybody dancing and jumping all around and happy and acting like a complete nutcase, while the song Everybody Dance by Kimberly Walsh plays in the background. And yeah, that's the movie. Was it worth watching? Well, it was kind of terrible, but in a kind of funny, corny, terrible way. It had its moments. I got some decent laughs out of it. Maybe if you give it a chance, you might find a decent laugh or chuckle out of it. It's worth the watch. I'm giving the Horrid Henry movie 3.5 purple hands out of 5. So until next time, remember to try to like and subscribe and share with a friend if you can. And I'll catch you guys next time. This has been Corey. Stay awesome and peace out. I'll leave you guys with some great music from the Zero Zombies. See ya.
Gonna be a big star. See my name in lights. Gonna play my guitar. Gonna play all night. Gonna go to town. My friends and me. Driving in a big car. Back in time for tea. But my homework is waiting for me. There's no escape and no TV.